Well, it's another week in working on the trucks. So this is a well-known name as a rag joint, or a steering coupler is what their, professional name they like to call themselves. This is for the Suburban, because the Suburban steering, I took it for a ride on the highway to go on a long trip, and it was quite the trip because there was a lot of play in the steering. And so that is the part number. I got 2 of them off Rock Auto. Don't mind the made in China sticker. I'm sure they're not. Right. As you can see, some directions in there and stuff on how to do these. But the OEM one has rivets right here and right here. And it's got some bolts to bolt it back. Well, the rivets are right here and right here on the OEM one. But you have to drill them out, cut them off, whatever you got to do to get them off. They are on this side. Here, let me use my poker stick. They are right there. That is where they're at. So if you were to grab onto this thing, right, and you were to try to move it, you wouldn't get much out of it. It's not easy to move, right? But then if you do this, sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera and work at the same time. It's not easy, folks. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it very much, and this is just, here we go. So that, all that play, you're feeling all that in the steering. I don't know if you can, better angle. If you look really close. So anyways, all that play, that transfer, and I have it held in the vise pretty tight. I don't want to go, the vise has teeth on it, so I don't want to go crazy because you'll mar it up, then you'll be sanding stuff. And I like to be as least invasive on parts on steering as possible. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but that's how I'm at. So anyways, it's an 11 millimeter 7/16 bolt down at the steering gearbox down there. And then, hang on, let me try to focus here. And then there is a 15 millimeter nut with a little speed tab on the coupler up near the front there. You can barely see it. All the wiring's in the way. But anyways, that's all you need is a 15 and an 11 or a 7/16. The coupler comes with a new bolt. I don't know if it's the same thread or not, because that looks like it's more like 1/2 inch probably, or 13 millimeters. So I'm not sure. Anyways, so you pretty much have to, you can X these and then chop them with the air hammer bit, chisel bit, and then you can knock them out. Pretty simple. Not the worst thing on earth. So I'll get back at you when I get it back together, and I'll let you know how it went. I'm sure it'll be fine because I've done these before. I just figured I'd film one because I'm sure somebody else is having the same problem with their gmt400, or is what they call now as OBS, which has never been OBS to me, but it is what it is. I digress. I'll get back at you. All right, well, without being a total safety expert, make sure you wear eye and ear protection. I wore my welding helmet that's on top of my toolbox, and I had earplugs in. I took them out so I wouldn't yell into the camera. So I had to do a little bit of grinding on these just to get the pieces knocked down so you can knock them out. This kind of sits on here like so, and when you take them out, there's some pieces left, and you got to grind them down. You can't just chop them off. This is one of the pieces. Yeah, so this is what's left of one of the rivets, but you got to grind them off and then try to knock them out with a punch. I was trying not to use my air hammer a lot because you can bend these ears pretty easily, and if you do, you can just kind of muscle them back a little bit with a vise. I put a little hash mark right there with a chisel so that I would know which end was up when I was working on this, so that, because I pulled the boot off and I pulled the plastic shield off that went in front of me, right in front of me. So now this one, threads of this go downwards. This one's going to get mounted like so in here. And we're going to see how much play it takes up. Now, mind you, there are companies that you can buy pieces to these, and you disassemble this and you use the top portion, and they give you the bottom portion, and there's a universal joint down here. I did not want to go that route the first time around. I wanted to try this because if you know what you're looking for, these pieces right here are, I want to say it was around $50 for two of them, so probably about $25 a piece. I ordered two. So I'll get back at you when I bolt this together, and I'll let you know. I think there's a torque spec on these, which I'll probably just pull out the torque wrench and torque it, because this is probably kind of weird to torque since you're going into rubber. I don't know. We'll have to look at these bolts. I'll get back at you. All right, so I got it on. It took a crow's foot and that, and it's supposed to be 11 foot-pounds, but if you torque it one way, like if you're on this side and you torque 11 foot-pounds, there's like 3 threads left. If you do like, yeah, it's yeah, so I was on this side, I torqued it and it was 11 foot-pounds. There was like 3 threads showing. And then I was on this side and torqued it, and there was like 5 threads showing. So I just evened the threads out, because obviously you're squishing rubber. And every time I retorque this one from this side, it would squish down a little more. So I just put, there's about 5 threads sticking out of both of them. I also used red Loctite and their lock nuts. And it looks to be all grade 8 stuff. So yeah. Hopefully this helps somebody, I guess. I don't know. I'm pretty confident that this is going to take care of some of the slop in the steering, but not all of it. I'm sure the gearbox has some slop in it. So with that being said, I think, well, that's it installed. It was kind of a bear to get it back in, just fighting me. But yeah, 32 foot-pounds on that. It's supposed to be 11 on those other 2 bolts that you cut the rivets and replace with bolts on the new one. And I just tightened that up to that ratchet's tightness. And I would say it's a lot tighter than it already was just stationary. Just feeling it back and forth right now. It seems like there's a lot of play there, but it's actually way less than there was. But I think there's still something else that's got a little bit of play in it. So I'm sure I'll have to bring it over to the shop and align it next. Or I can just, you know, not bother and use my own alignment machine. Well, see you on the next one, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share it if you think your friends would find this helpful. Take it easy.